You lean in, thinking you're showing interest, but you feel her subtly pull back. Maybe she crosses her arms, and just like that, the vibe is dead. You're left spinning in your head, wondering what you possibly could have done wrong. Here's the truth. You might have sabotaged the entire interaction without ever saying a single word. Think about it. The conversation felt like it was going great. You were making her laugh, the banter was on point, and everything seemed to be clicking. But then, a sudden shift, a chill in the air. Her body language closes up, she stops asking questions, and you get that sinking feeling of a connection just fizzling into nothing. So, what happened? Let me pull back the curtain for you. There's a whole invisible conversation happening underneath the words, the one told through your body language. And trust me, it's often more powerful than anything you're actually saying. It feels like most of us guys were never taught how to read it. We think we're projecting confidence, but our bodies are practically screaming insecurity, disinterest, or even aggression. In this video, I'm going to decode the 8 most common and destructive silent cues you might be sending that are pushing her away. Think of me as your translator for the unspoken language of attraction. More importantly, I'll show you exactly how to fix them, so you can project the confident, attractive vibe you want and turn those confusing moments into genuine connections. This isn't about cheap tricks. It's about understanding the silent language that creates real chemistry. All right, let's start with the most powerful tool in your arsenal, your eyes, and the critical mistake so many guys make. This brings us to our first point, the attraction killer, inconsistent and shifty eye contact. Your eyes are your #1 way to build trust and connection. When you get this wrong, it doesn't just make you seem a little nervous, it completely undermines everything else you're doing. Picture this. You're talking to a woman, trying to build a real connection, but your eyes are all over the place. You meet her gaze for a second, then dart over to the door, down at your drink, back to her, and then away again. What message does that send her? It screams a lack of confidence. It says you're either intimidated by her, insecure, or not fully present in the moment. Honestly, it just makes you seem untrustworthy. Even worse, it can feel like you're scanning the room for someone better, which is an instant attraction killer. She can't get a read on you, and that uncertainty is the enemy of chemistry. Then there's the guy who overcorrects and goes for the unblinking, predatory stare. Trust me, this is just as bad, if not worse. It feels aggressive, socially unaware, and frankly, it's just plain creepy. It puts a woman on the defensive and makes her want to find the nearest exit. Remember, the goal is connection, not interrogation. So, what's the right way to do it? The key is to cultivate warm, engaged eye contact. Aim to hold her gaze for about 70% of the time when she's talking, and about 50% when you are. This shows you're not just hearing her, you're actively listening. And when you do look away, don't let your eyes dart around nervously. Make it a deliberate, thoughtful break. Glance to the side for a moment, as if you're considering a point she just made. This feels natural, not like a nervous tic. Here's a powerful technique to make your gaze feel more connecting. The triangular gazing method. Instead of locking onto just one of her eyes, let your gaze move softly in a small triangle, from one eye to the other, then briefly down to her mouth and back up. This feels far more natural and introduces a subtle hint of romantic interest without being obvious. Combine this with a genuine smile that actually reaches your eyes, and you've just transformed your gaze from a source of anxiety into a powerful tool of attraction. Okay, so your eyes are having the right conversation. But if your posture is sending a different message, you're just creating confusion. This leads us straight to point number 2. The unseen wall, your closed-off body language. You can say all the right things, but if your body is closed off, you're literally building an invisible wall between you and her. The most common mistake here? Crossing your arms. I know, maybe you're just cold or you don't know what to do with your hands. But the subconscious message it sends is loud and clear. I'm closed off, I'm not comfortable, or even, I disagree with you. It's a physical barrier that kills the flow of the conversation. When a woman sees that, her brain reads it as resistance, and she'll likely close herself off in return. Other habits are just as bad. Slouching or hunching your shoulders makes you look defeated and lacking in confidence. It literally makes you appear smaller. And turning your torso away from her, even slightly, signals complete disinterest. It's like your body is already looking for an escape route. These cues are subtle, but they tell her that you're either not into the conversation or you're not a confident, high-value man. The fix is to consciously adopt an open and expansive posture. First things first, uncross your arms. Seriously. If you're not sure what to do with your hands, let them hang naturally at your sides. Put one hand in a pocket or hold your drink. The key is to keep your chest and torso open and aim toward her. Next, focus on your posture. Stand or sit up straight. Pull your shoulders back and down. A great mental trick is to imagine a string pulling the crown of your head gently toward the ceiling. This one adjustment instantly makes you look more confident and present. And most importantly, practice fronting. This just means pointing your feet, hips, and torso directly at her. This is a massive nonverbal signal that she has your complete and undivided attention. When your body is open and facing her, you're tearing down that invisible wall and inviting a real connection to form. Once your body language is open and inviting, the next step is to get in sync with her. When you fail to do this, it creates a strange and awkward disconnect. And that brings us to point number 3. The disconnect signal, you're not mirroring her. Have you ever been talking to someone and just felt perfectly in sync, where the conversation flows effortlessly and the chemistry is undeniable? Chances are, on a subconscious level, you are mirroring each other. Mirroring is when you subtly and naturally mimic another person's body language or energy level. It's how we build rapport on a primal level. The problem is when you're so stuck in your own head, worrying about what to say next, that you completely fail to notice her non-verbal cues. If she leans in and you stay leaned back with your arms crossed, you're creating a jarring emotional gap. If she's speaking in an excited, energetic tone, and your replies are low energy and flat, you're signaling that you're just not on her level. It basically tells her, I'm not on the same wavelength as you. This makes the interaction feel like hard work, and it kills that natural, easy flow that attraction is built on. The key to good mirroring is to be subtle. This isn't about being a mime and copying her every single move. That's just creepy. It's about making small, intuitive adjustments to get in sync with her vibe. Start by mirroring her general posture and energy. If she leans forward on the table, wait a few moments, and then lean in a bit yourself. If she's relaxed and leaning back, allow yourself to adopt a similarly relaxed posture. If her energy is high and she's animated, match that positivity with your own expressions. You can even subtly mirror her gestures. If she talks with her hands, feel free to be a bit more expressive with yours. If she takes a sip of her drink, wait a few seconds, then take a sip of yours. This works verbally too. Try to match her pace and volume. If she speaks softly, lower your own volume a bit to create a stronger sense of intimacy. When done right, mirroring is invisible, but it's deeply felt. It sends the powerful message, I see you. I get you. We're in this together. Getting in sync with her vibe is huge, but there's another invisible layer you have to navigate perfectly, and getting this wrong can be a deal breaker. That's point number 4, the zone violation, messing up personal space. That invisible bubble of personal space around someone is sacred ground. How you navigate it says a lot about your social intelligence. I see guys mess this up in 2 major ways. First, by being way too timid. This is the guy who stays firmly planted in the social zone, about 4 to 12 feet away. He maintains a huge physical distance, talking from across a table or leaving a big, awkward gap between them. He thinks he's being respectful, but the message it actually sends is disinterest or a total lack of confidence. You're basically friend-zoning yourself with your body language. Attraction needs a bit of closeness to build intimacy and tension. The second mistake is invading her space way too fast. This is the guy who gets right up in her face, stepping into her intimate zone, about 1.5 feet away, without any invitation. This is a massive red flag. It disregards her boundaries, shows a lack of social awareness, and can even feel threatening. When a man does this, it triggers her internal alarm bells, and she immediately puts her guard up. Navigating personal space is like a dance. Your goal is to gradually move from the social zone into the personal zone, about 1.5 to 4 feet away. As the conversation warms up, take one small, subtle step closer. Now, this next part is critical. Watch her reaction. If she holds her ground, smiles, or maybe even leans in slightly herself, you've just been given a nonverbal green light. She's comfortable with you closing the distance. But if she takes a tiny step back or leans away, you have to respect that signal. Hold your position, or even take a small step back yourself to give her that space back. This shows you're socially intelligent and that you respect her boundaries, which is a highly attractive trait. You want to build romantic tension and intimacy, not anxiety and discomfort. All right, we're halfway through. If you're getting some serious value out of this breakdown, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm breaking down the complex dynamics of attraction every single week to give you the confidence and skills you need, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's get back to the silent cues that might be killing your game. Now, let's talk about one of the simplest yet most overlooked signals you can send. This brings us to number 5, the unhappy mask. You're not really smiling. A smile is a universal invitation. It signals warmth, friendliness, and confidence. Yet so many men, in an effort to look cool or mysterious, walk around with a stone-faced expression that does nothing but push people away. When you don't smile, you come across as unapproachable, intimidating, or just plain bored. A woman looking at you from across the room might think you're arrogant, unhappy, or totally uninterested. It creates a negative vibe right from the start, forcing her to do all the work in the conversation. And trust me, most women won't bother. We'll just gravitate towards someone who looks more friendly and open. Just as bad as the forced fake smile. You know the one. That tight-lipped grimace that doesn't involve your eyes at all. It looks completely unnatural and can come off as dishonest or creepy. People can spot a fake smile a mile away, and it makes us feel like you're hiding something. A fake smile doesn't build connection. It creates distance and distrust. The solution is a genuine or Duchenne smile. This is the real deal, and the secret is in the eyes. It's when you smile not just with your mouth, but also with the muscles around your eyes, creating those little crow's feet at the corners. This is the kind of smile that is universally seen as trustworthy and warm. So how do you actually do it? Especially if you're feeling nervous? Don't just think, I need to smile now. That's what leads to the fake one. Instead, focus on a genuinely positive thought. Think about something that actually makes you happy or a funny memory you have. That internal shift in feeling will naturally trigger a real smile. When you use a real smile, it becomes magnetic. It signals true confidence and positivity, and it makes her want to be a part of that good energy. While a genuine smile invites her in, there are other habits that can scream insecurity and push her right back out. This leads us directly to point number 6, the nervous twitch, all that fidgeting. You're trying to project this image of a cool, calm, and collected guy, but your body is telling a completely different story. Your leg is bouncing, you keep touching your face, your hands just won't stay still. These nervous habits are like a flashing neon sign that says, I'm overwhelmed with anxiety. Fidgeting is just nervous energy leaking out of your body. Tapping your foot, drumming your fingers, playing with your hair, these all betray your inner anxiety. From a woman's perspective, a man who can't control his own body seems like he can't handle pressure. It makes you look insecure and uncomfortable in your own skin. It's also incredibly distracting. It's hard to focus on what you're saying if your frantic, jittery movements are taking all the attention. Your anxiety becomes contagious. You could be saying all the right things, but if your body is screaming panic, she's going to believe your body every single time. The first step is simply awareness. A lot of these habits are totally unconscious. Start to notice what your specific nervous tic is. Do you tap your feet? Play with your keys? Once you know what it is, you can start to control it. A great strategy is to ground yourself physically. Plant both of your feet firmly on the floor. Really feel that connection to the ground beneath you. This simple act creates a sense of stability and can calm the urge to fidget. If your hands are the problem, give them a calm, stable job. Clasp them gently in front of you, or just rest them on your legs. And your breathing is your secret weapon here. When you feel that urge to fidget, take a slow, deep breath. This helps regulate your nervous system. The goal is to replace restless, chaotic movements with calm, purposeful stillness. This deliberate control signals immense confidence and self-possession. Once you've mastered a calm, confident stillness, it's time to pay attention to the sounds you're actually making. Let's talk about number 7, the monotone drone, your flat vocal tone. Your voice is an instrument. It can captivate, energize, and attract. But if you're only playing one single note, a flat monotone drone, you're not making music. You're just making noise. And nobody wants to listen to that for very long. A lot of men, trying to sound more masculine, adopt a very flat vocal tone. They think it sounds commanding or serious, but the actual effect is the total opposite. A monotone voice is incredibly boring. It signals a lack of passion, a lack of energy, and most importantly, a lack of interest. When you speak to a woman in a flat, unchanging tone, you're subconsciously telling her that you're bored by the conversation, and by extension, maybe even bored by her. Your stories will fall flat. Your jokes will have no punch, and any compliments you give will feel empty and rehearsed. Her brain will simply start to tune you out. A lack of vocal variety is one of the fastest ways to kill a vibe and destroy any chemistry you're trying to build. The solution is to start using vocal tonality. This just means varying your pitch, pace, and volume to reflect the emotion of what you're saying. Your voice should be dynamic, not static. Start by playing with your pitch. When you're excited about something, let your pitch naturally go up. When you're sharing something more personal or serious, you can lower your voice to draw her in. Vary your pace too. Speed up a little when you're telling an exciting part of a story to build energy. Then slow down when you're making an important point to add weight to your words. And don't forget that pauses are incredibly powerful. A well-placed pause can create tension and make what you say next so much more impactful. When you're excited, sound excited. A dynamic voice makes you a far more charismatic, engaging, and attractive communicator. All right, we've covered your eyes, your posture, your hands, and your voice. But there's one last, surprisingly honest part of your body we need to address. This is number 8, the great escape, forgetting your feet. Of all your body parts, your feet are probably the most honest. You might be able to fake a smile or control your hands, but your feet will often reveal your true intentions. Body language experts always say, where the feet point, the mind wants to go. It's a deeply subconscious habit. If you're talking to a woman, but your feet are angled toward the exit, the bar, or another group of people, you are non-verbally screaming that you are not fully invested in the interaction. She might not consciously register it, but on a subconscious level, she will feel that disengagement. It feels like you have one foot out the door, which makes her feel unimportant. Similarly, keeping your feet too close together or your legs tightly crossed can signal that you're timid and closed off. You're physically making yourself smaller, which is the exact opposite of the confident, grounded presence that creates attraction. The fix here is simple, but you have to be conscious of it. First, always make sure your feet are pointing towards the person you are interested in. Just like fronting with your torso, pointing your feet directly at her is a powerful signal of your full engagement. It tells her from the ground up that she is the complete focus of your attention. Second, adopt a confident stance. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. This creates a solid, grounded base that projects stability and confidence. If you're sitting, avoid tightly crossing your legs and instead opt for a more open, relaxed posture. By consciously directing your feet, you align your entire body in one congruent message of interest and confidence. It's the final and often overlooked piece of the nonverbal puzzle. So there you have it, the 8 silent cues that could be pushing women away. Remember, this isn't about being fake or learning a set of robotic moves. It's about becoming aware of the invisible conversation you're always having and making sure your body is aligned with your true intentions. Let's do a quick recap. Master warm, engaging eye contact. Keep your posture open and confident. Subtly mirror her energy to build rapport. Manage personal space with respect. Use a real, genuine smile. Get your nervous fidgeting under control. Use a dynamic and engaging vocal tone. And finally, point your feet where you want your attention to be. Fixing these is about so much more than just getting a second date. It's about becoming a more confident, charismatic, and socially intelligent man. It's about stopping the mixed signals so you can start building genuine, powerful connections. Stop letting your body language betray you. Start using it to communicate the confident, high-value man you truly are. It's time to master the silent language of attraction. What was the most surprising cue you learned about today? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And as always, don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe for more advice on building unshakable confidence, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. I'll see you in the next one.